The anti-crime group Pagad G-Force has been moving through Hanover Park in Cape Town today to engage with community members. This follows the tragic death of 4-year-old Qidar Boer, who was shot and killed outside his home. Pagad G-Force says gang violence is now out of control. Nasiphi Same joins me now for more. Nasiphi, a very good afternoon to you. We are seeing Pagad and many of those community members moving through communities such as Hanover Park. What do they look to achieve with regards to today's movement in ensuring that people are made aware of the scourge of drugs and its impact, especially on young children?
Well, Katla, as you put it, the group, together with the residents of Hanover Park, weaving in between the various courts where people live, and that is the different gang territories as well, where they are saying that they're leaving a message, the first and last message to drug merchants, including gang leaders, that this is their final warning when it comes to seizing fire. And this falls at the backdrop of the death of a 4-year-old Qidar Boer, brutally killed outside his home on the 4th, or rather on last week Wednesday. Hours later, his family was given this terrible news that he had indeed passed away in hospital. But to talk to us more about this march that is becoming a religious thing on Sundays, where Pagad G-Force is going into known gang areas and protesting or marching in between these communities. Is these marches, hitting what it's supposed to, or rather, are you getting the results that you're hoping for?
Good afternoon. I think at this stage, not really, to be honest with you. But we just need to work on it. We need to get communities to be more angry, like one of our members have said, at these gangsters and these merchants, and come out in the thousands. And then we know that our hard work is actually paying off. So we will continue to march until we reach that point.
I mean, today we went to different gang territories, stamping authority, making your voices heard. What did you have to say to those that are drug merchants and gang leaders in these various courts?
Look, at the end of the day, they need to stop. They need to stop. Like our message that goes out to them, either you stop or we make you stop. And that is the ultimate message we give to them. There is no success in gangsterism and drugs. Nobody ever in the whole world have succeeded being a big gangster. At the end of the day, the graveyard is the place where you're going to end up. That is just how it is, And we have seen today, if the police hadn't to be here, and this is not about the G-Force, this is about the community. Just imagine the police hadn't to be here. Then a few of these gangsters would have been buried tomorrow. And that we're trying to show people that by standing together, by showing unity, we show these gangsters that they are not as powerful as they think they are.
And on that note, speaking to one of the residents saying that since the march started, as we're walking through these different courts, that no shootings have occurred.
Yeah, obviously they won't shoot today because why? There's people that can shoot back at the end of the day. There's people that can stand up to them. So it just shows how coward these gangsters are. They will target people when they get people tonight, when they get people alone, but they will not come out when people like us are around that can challenge them.
Looking at the state of affairs, I mean, we've seen a flare-up of gang violence throughout the Cape Flats in just over hours. Mitchell's Plain, Eitzig, Alsus River. Even here last night there was a shooting. What would you say to those in power that should be ensuring the safety of residents on the Cape Flats?
Look, the message I have given to the community is very simple. Our evil secret forces are sitting in the high-up chairs, even in Parliament, and they're using their pawns on the ground to do their dirty work. If they want to stop gangsterism and drugs, they can stop it in one day. And then they even have their own armies. They even have their own security forces and the police forces. So whenever you want to touch their pawns, if I can put it that way, they send out their security forces like we have seen today. And our policemen and women, our men and women in blue, they need to open their eyes. They need to wake up. They need to realize this is the same system that used them in the apartheid era to kill their own people, and they are still using them today.
We heard one of the imams when they were addressing the crowd saying that one of the contributing factors is the release of the parolees.
Yeah, look, people get, nowadays people get 2 years, 3 years for killing somebody, innocent people, all right? And in 1.5 years, they're being recycled back into our community. But that is not only the only reason. That is just a small contributor, all right? I think one of the rules is that communities should be notified if anybody comes out into their community on parole. And even that system doesn't play out. You know, our SEPs need to beef up. They need to start playing their role in our local communities. Our station commanders, they need to stand and look in the mirror and ask themselves, am I doing justice to the community that I'm supposed to serve and supposed to protect?
Are police doing enough to serve and protect the residents of the Cape Flats?
Do I really have to answer that? With 4-year-olds dying on our streets on a daily basis? 4-year-olds dying. Our school children get holiday, but they cannot play outside. That is a question that the police must answer for us. We're asking them the question, do you really think you are doing enough to protect our people? We don't think so.
What more can be done? I mean, other community members have called for a state of emergency or declaration of a state of emergency on the Cape Flats to give police force and the criminal justice system a little bit more power to act.
Look, you might just give them more power to act against the innocent people in our communities. That is what we're seeing today and what we're seeing on a daily basis on the Cape Flats. The enemy of our authorities is the innocent, hard-working people in our communities. So if they, I said it before, if they want to know what can be done, set up a meeting with us and we see what we can put on the table for them to basically introduce into our local communities.
Mitchell's Plain was the genesis of this upsurge in gang violence in July. Mitchell's Plain again, you know, is at the forefront of the number of people that have been killed as a result of gang violence.
And you need to ask the question, a few guns have disappeared out of Mitchell's Plain police station. Nobody knows where's the guns. Nobody knows where the guns disappeared to. Who took the guns, you know? And I believe Mitchell's Plain is the most corrupt police station in Cape Town at this stage. So what do we expect? You know, big gang leaders lived in Mitchell's Plain, empowered by politicians, getting big contracts. They can control their whole communities. They can control the whole police force and even parliamentarians. So what we got is exactly what our government wants us to get. They do not want to see changes in our communities at this stage. So it doesn't matter. State of emergency is not going to benefit us because that state of emergency, again, the innocent is going to suffer.
Ms. Davids, will these protests and marches continue? I know today you were giving a final warning to those in the various territories that when you do return, should they not cease fire, they'll be seeing a different kind of attitude.
In fact, our marches are only starting. If these gangsters think this is the end, this is but only the beginning. And the evil forces behind them, they must know. Only time will tell, then they also will be exposed and justice will come their way as well.
Are you concerned that we're not getting these numbers that we're supposed to? I mean, it's either you're affected or infected by gang violence.
I think throughout history, it was a small band of people that always stood up. Even in the years of apartheid, the masses did not stand up. It was a small band of people. So if we have to be that band, then so be it.
Nazim Davids there from Pagad G-Force saying that as a group, this is just the beginning, a warning shot to the gangs terrorizing the various communities on the Cape Flats. We now know that there's been an upsurge or flare-up in various communities on the Cape Flats, Hanover Park. Just yesterday, gunshots and people being shot, Mitchell's Plain, Eitzig, Alsace River, Easter River, and many other communities. And this is a call to those in power to deploy not only more boots on the ground, but to eradicate social ills that ultimately result to the shootings that we are seeing in the various communities.
Certainly a cause for concern within those communities, but I guess that's what active citizenship is about, where you see people such as those that are standing up and asking for authorities to take heed. Nasiphi Same out in Hanover Park bringing us the latest in that update. Thank you so much.